What's happening, people? Welcome back to another episode of Fight Talk with the BMAs. Two brothers going to discuss some fights. We had some UFC fights happening. As usual, guys, if you do not want to hear, if you want to get straight to the fight talk, check the description. I will put the timestamp there. It'll take you straight to the fight talk. If you don't want to hear me and K West talking about our lives and our thoughts on things, just go to the description, skip straight to the fight talk, and you'll give our thoughts about the fights that happened this week and any other news that we discovered throughout the week. On that note, always joined by my boy K West, who is in Thailand. What's happening, bro? How are you?
Yo, man, I'm really well. I'm really well. I've just been a lot of changes as normal, but yeah, mentally strong, physically stronger, and yeah, learning things every single fucking day.
That's awesome. I think when you're out your comfort zone, when you're in a different country, whole different culture, you're trying to figure it all out. That's when you are constantly learning every day. Like, don't get me wrong, I
Yeah.
think in regular life you can learn every day, but because you're in such a routine, you're such in your comfort zone, your mind not might be open to be learning something every day. It's like
Mm,
I learned something randomly that maybe was forced upon me or whatever it is, based on
mm,
the situation. But when you're in your comfort zone, I don't think the mind is as open to learn. When you put yourself outside the comfort zone, be it in the
mm,
situation
mm,
that you are in, which is
mm.
you have to learn, you have to figure out things. And I think I've been through that as well, like, living in different
Yes.
countries, even
Yes.
being in
Yeah.
Dubai. Even though the thing is as well, even
Yeah.
though I've lived in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Dubai, it's like you still have to go through a process because Dubai is a different country to Hong Kong and Singapore and all whatnot. So you're still going through that and you're like, even I failed in the beginning of like, because I had an expectation, but I'm like, no, no, no,
Mm,
Dubai is different. So you have to, learn to be like, all right, well, it's different. And that's what I go through still. Like now, I think we're settled and whatnot. So obviously, I've learned as much as I could. So when shit doesn't go right, I'm like, that's just
mm.
Dubai. That's just the Dubai side. And it happens. It still happens to this day. Like this last week, things are happening. And I'm like, yeah, leave it. That's just Dubai. Like, you know what I mean? So.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're definitely the you and another friend. He's an ex-basketball player, and he played in Germany and Italy and Spain, and he did this like almost like 10 years ago. So he also has experiences of living outside of his comfort zone. I often forget because that's another lifetime ago. Like I've just started it, and you're still doing it. And then when I speak to him about it, he's just like, obviously his mind works different to mine. He was constantly playing basketball and whatever, but he understands it as well. And I was just like, oh shit, I forgot that you were a baller, like so. Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
definitely when you're outside of your comfort zone, you look to find other things that you were missing when you had all this noise. And for me, it's been journaling, and it's been reading books, and it's been meditation. What was yours, and what is still? I don't know. Obviously, you're in Dubai. You're now close to your faith, which is amazing. But I remember that's your kind of form of meditation in a sense. But what else have you been doing in those times that you was in Hong Kong or Singapore? Like, what was your kind of place of solace in a sense, or kind of a tangible routine that you made for yourself that made you learn something different away from the noise?
I think you know what, yeah. So it's been different, and
Mm.
I think the training and routine has always been there. So that's always kept me mentally sane. As long as I got my training in, do my
Mm.
martial arts routine, cool. But
I knew you'd say that.
yeah, I mean that's always going to be the key. But I'm not saying that's the solution to everything, right? I think when I was in Hong Kong, I was younger, I was there to have fun, and I was a bit more ignorant to what's going on and whatnot. So yes, I was there to learn. I knew I was in a foreign country. I had to figure it out, but I was just to have. I was trying to have fun and whatnot. So that mind frame is completely different to the one in Dubai. 'Cause now
Mm.
I'm married. I'm older. I'm married, and
Mm.
all this sort of stuff.
Mm.
So, yeah. I mean, look, routine's always going to be the thing. I got closer to my religion, so I'm using that as meditation and whatnot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said to you, like just something recently that I newly done is I got into therapy and whatnot and talking to someone. So you see what I'm
Yes.
trying to say? Even from Hong Kong to here, I still have evolved as a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And I think from Hong Kong to here.
Mm.
And this is why I got into therapy and why when I met my missus, she was trying to convince me to do
Adamant that
it.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because I gained a whole lot of trauma from Hong Kong to here. And that was the racism that and shit that I went through in Hong Kong to here. So even though I went to Hong Kong like peace, I'm gonna have fun. What happened in Hong Kong? Although I had fun and I enjoyed it and great experiences, I built a whole lot of trauma because of the racism and shit I went through. So actually, when I went to Singapore, the mind was already, traumatized
like
with certain shit. Yeah,
fight
guards
mode.
up and
Yeah,
all this sort
yeah.
of stuff. I was angrier as a person. I came to Dubai with that same sort of thing, and now I'm trying to channel that anger and kind of calm down. And things I do say, because I've settled in things here, I have been less angry, but I've got to keep monitoring myself, saying that I do got to write in my daily notes. And whatnot. I don't journal, but I'm doing daily notes.
How is that? Like, and it's been alien, isn't it? But like, yeah, like, what's your process? You just write down what's happened, or do you write like how do you formulate this stuff? Like, for
Yeah,
example, a couple of days ago, like you said, you need to go home and write something like about the everything changed, the day changed, right? You missed wrestling, and what did you put down, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah,
Or
no, you
roughly?
know what? I don't mind sharing it because at the end of the day, like I can't. So my missus, for example, every morning she physically writes, not
Mm,
computer, she physically writes and whatnot. I can't do
mm,
that. I have a routine. I gotta probably wake up earlier to do that. I can't do that. And then I sit there and think, right, and I just can't do it. I have a doc that I just have open and I just type and I just put bullet points. So what it is, my therapist has been helping me with, like, when you write stuff, it doesn't have to be the whole day, but she's trying to determine. This is one aspect of something I'm going through right now, is determine. I'm a perfectionist, but she's trying to determine what is a demanding perfection for me and a striving perfection for me. What am I
mm,
demanding for myself compared to what am I striving? So I'm kind of categorizing it as that. So that day, for example, that Wednesday where I was like, everything's going to be great. I'm going to go buy
mm.
Tekken, then I'm going to go training, and everything went wrong, right? So I kind of
Well, you
just
got Tekken.
I got Tekken, and I didn't even get a chance to play it till Saturday. So
uh,
it's like 4 days later, 3 days later, which is
but
awesome. Which is
but
the
the
game is
download
sick.
was long, right? You said the download was about 4 days, 3 days, two
The
days.
download
So
was long, and I just didn't have the
yeah,
time until Saturday.
yeah.
But what I
Okay.
wrote was, like, I just wrote bullet points. I just wrote the
Yeah,
plan that I was going to buy Tekken and then go training.
yeah,
Then I got caught
yeah.
in traffic, and then
Mm,
I just wrote, like, literally I got angry at the planning
mm,
and the timing. So
mm,
the expectations of planning, I changed that, and it was a demand perfection. Like, I planned it and I
mm.
demanded that perfection, that it needs to go at this time and this time and this time or whatnot. And then I got
Yeah,
annoyed at the individual who wasn't there at the right time. So I was imposing my expectations on an individual who I don't even know.
yeah.
So my
Right.
expectations, you need
Projecting.
to be there at this time. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I
yeah.
demanded perfection from this individual who I don't know. I demanded it because it fell into my plans and whatnot.
Into your plans. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So that these are the sort of things I'm thinking about. And I was telling my missus the other day about this therapy stuff, and I recommend it to anyone. And of course, it's a financial thing as well.
Yeah.
But talk to people in general. But I told my missus the other day, I was like, you know what? Yeah, after my last session, I felt fucking great. You know, when you do a workout, before the workout, you're
Mm.
like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. While you're doing the workout, you're like, let's go. This is hard. This is hurt. This sucks. But after you're done, you're like, I feel fucking fantastic. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same thing with the therapy, man. Before, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk to this woman. I don't want to spend this hour doing this. And then while you're doing it, mind-boggling, and you're training the mind and you're having these conversations and you're thinking. After I did it, I was like, I feel great.
Mm,
Even though the mind was wandering, I was like, I feel fantastic that I just did
mm,
that. So there's something great about it, and I really do see myself as a weekly routine. Finance excuses always held me back. Finance
yeah.
was one of them. I was like, nah, man, let
Well,
me, just the way I spend money on investing in my physical and health and all that stuff. I'm doing the same with the mental. And I'm glad I finally bite the bullet or whatever it is to do it. And now I'm just gonna pull it part of my routine. So
mm.
yeah,
I think
man.
in this analogy, it's not biting the bullet. It's sat down on the couch because that's what it is,
It
in a
is.
sense.
Yeah, I mean,
So sit down.
we're doing it
Mhm.
virtually, but
I'm sure.
she's in
I'm
Dubai,
sure.
and she keeps saying that
Yeah.
we should do it in person. There's a different human connection. There's a different
Yeah.
she can learn more from body language and all that sort of stuff. So I will,
Yeah.
again, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that. I need to plan it. We'll plan something
Yeah.
and do it. So
Nice,
yeah.
man. Powerful, man. I love to hear that because yeah, I think you're probably the most recent person I know that's kind of started it, and I've been able to hear your experience, and it's just been like, you've just whoop, you've already got kickback from it so soon. So that's really great to hear, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you grow from this, what you learn from this, how you improve, how you calm yourself down, and so on, because
I
it's
hope
all a
so.
process.
I mean, it's
It's
a
no
process.
hoping, man. It's a
It'll take time. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a process.
It'll
It'll
take as
take time.
long as it needs to, right? It takes as
Yeah.
long as it needs to, because you got to calm the beast, and it sounds like you got like a very large beast inside you. So
I think a lot of people do, you know. I think I was so in denial for the longest time. I think a lot of people do, and just it's hard for them to admit it or whatever it is,
gotcha.
or people just hold it in, or there's so much. There's so much. I mean, I'm
Mm.
privileged to a point where I can pay for it. I can do it. I can have these conversations. But even though I'm privileged, I make excuses, timing, finance, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Now, you know,
Mm.
all of this comes.
Nobody, yeah, I mean, nobody really likes the idea of somebody rummaging around in their head about stuff that they have buried and protected and guarded, right? Nobody wants that to happen. It's painful. It's not comfortable. It's not enjoyable to kind of have to relive certain things and so on. Like I can imagine it's not a nice place to be at. So that's a massive fear of like this memory that is quite scary and harmful and traumatic, and you've guarded it and you put it in your hippocampus back here, and you want somebody to say they're gonna go dig it to your frontal lobe so that you can your back's up immediately, right? But that's how we get better. That's how we grow.
Exactly, exactly. And you know, like as you said, it's not nobody wants to dig in there, and there is a defense there. I mean, but there is
Yeah.
something, I don't know why, maybe it's just me, of
Hmm?
comfortability of speaking to a stranger than a
Mm.
loved one, be it, you know, my wife, my brothers, yourself, whatever. Like, yes, I would talk to you, I always would, but there's something else. Like, like there's a sense of hesitation. Oh, do I take it? Do I tell K West? Do I? Oh, I don't.
Mm.
Like maybe there's and this is a sense of automatic fear of judgment, right? Which loved ones will never
E-
would which
True.
really loved ones will never do.
Should never do.
Should never
Should
do.
never do.
Exactly.
Should,
But
because
there's
they
a,
fucking do.
yeah, no, no, of course. And listen, I'm not saying people can't be judgmental as long as you are constructive. Like if I done something bad, I'm going to punch some random old dude in the face. I need you to, what the fuck? Like, but
Sounds
obviously
like
that,
Connor.
yeah, exactly. But no, no, but you know what I mean? But then talking to a stranger, like I don't know
Yeah.
you. There's a sense of
Mm,
comfortability of like, what if,
yeah.
even if you did judge me, who gives a fuck?
Who give
But
the fuck? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
Uh,
the whole point of the therapy, you know, and the therapist I have is like, there is no judgment. There is none
mm,
to express. I
mm,
need you to feel comfortable to express and whatnot.
mm.
So, you know, I'm still working on opening up to her, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
But we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes. Yeah, man. It's good, you know. I gotta write my notes down for today, actually. I woke up with the same anxiety every Monday of the day. Let's get the day. Let's go
Yeah. Yeah.
training in the
Yeah.
evening. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna eat like
Uh-huh.
this. Gonna wake up at a certain time. Gonna go do my morning
Mm,
routine. I mean, I accomplished certain things, but I'm like, still got anxiety about jiu-jitsu tonight. It's like, I've got to go do it. I've got to drive down there and got to do the training, got to get beats, come back, drive back. It's going to be late. Like, you know, yeah, got to do it.
wait. The anxiety is about traveling there or
It's the
about getting
process.
beats. It's the
It's,
pro.
it's the whole process, the
Oh.
whole process. It's like, it's not just
Oh.
training, it's work as well. I got
Yeah.
shit to do. So that as I get through the day, certain anxiety
Yeah.
goes away. And
Yes.
even with this, with the fight talk, it's like, all right, gotta make
Yeah.
sure we do this. Then I could just focus on work here. Had to do a bit of work before, like the whole process.
Ah,
And then when it gets to the
I
end of the
see.
day, there's more
Yeah.
anxiety. It's like, oh, you just want to chill. It's like, no, you gotta go training. You gotta go do it.
I see. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the version of what of anxiety that is. I don't know the name of it, but I remember hearing about it because I've been looking into this stuff, mental health, uh, psychology, and everything. And I remember hearing a similar kind of. It's like a. It's like you just kind of you run hot on all the time on things that you have to. You have to do them, but for some reason, it's like an alarm bell even more than the average kind of getting up to go to work. It's just like there's so much more emphasis on that. And throughout the day, you've got lots of things to do, and it's just like your kind of your open space just becomes filled with all this like rush of energy, and I guess you have to kind of just figure out how to dial it back and just say, okay, I've got this, right, and then I've got that. But that's not how it works, is it? It's just like
exactly.
it's almost like somebody who has ADHD, where there's just everything. Like someone told me, if you have ADHD, they said picture it like this: imagine you've got a whole room full of televisions and they're all showing different things at once, and you're there to watch it. And I was like, fuck that, that's tough.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing you mentioned. It's the same routine every week. It is the same routine every week. It's just the same, and it's the same anxiety every week. You wake up because Sunday is such a chill day where like I said, I try to accomplish all my throughout the week, like, work, training, chores, shit that I got to do around the house, all that sort of stuff has to be done at least between Monday. I try to force it between Monday to Thursday, but
Put
it can
pressure on
extend up to
yourself.
Saturday. So because I could get
Yeah.
that chance Sunday off the chill. Like yesterday, I did chill and I sat and I played Tekken and I watched movies or whatever it is, and I felt okay about it. But saying that, I still got up and I was like, oh, the toolbox. I need to organize the toolbox. And I was like, I had to do something. I was like, okay,
I
let me just
see.
organize a toolbox. Da, da,
Yeah,
da, da.
yeah,
I
yeah.
done a little bit of cleaning. Okay, cool. I could go and play games again now. Do you know what I mean? Like I always have to keep myself busy. I was talking to my little brother and Kibla, and they were like, they're super busy because they got the family, the kids, and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, you know
Mm,
what, guys? Like, I can't
mm,
relate to you because I don't have the kids yet, and inshallah one day.
mm,
But
mm-hmm,
I do
mm-hmm.
something to myself where I keep myself so busy. Like I have to keep myself active so much. And if
Mm.
I don't, I can't chill. Like I cleaned the car
Yeah,
3 days in a row. And my wife's like, why? So on Thursday, I done
yeah.
the interior, which I was supposed to do, and then I just wiped down the exterior. Okay, then what happened was Friday, it got dirty again. It
Mm,
rained a little bit. Oh, sorry, Thursday
right.
night, it rained a little bit. So I woke up Friday and I was like, oh shit, like it got
Gotta
dirty.
do something.
I went out, I wiped the exterior
Uh,
again. Friday during the day, it rained, and then
oh
again.
my
And the missus
gosh.
were like, just leave it. And I was like, yeah, no, it's cool,
Wow.
it's cool, it's cool. And then Saturday morning, I finished my workout routine. I was like, 30 minutes, let me just quickly go out. And I had to wipe it down again. And I was just, my wife was
Oh,
like, why?
wow.
And I was just like,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I had to just accomplish that because I
Yeah.
know I'm going to chill for the weekend. But then it was just bugging me that it got, like, I accomplished something and immediately got
Mm,
dirty. And then I accomplished something,
mm,
immediately got dirty. And I was like,
mm,
why
mm.
I've accomplished immediately gets undone. So I have to re-accomplish it again. And the missus was wait
Mm.
till next week. I know you're gonna wash it on Thursday again. Thursday morning, I wake up early to do it. It's like just wait
That
till the
won't
time.
do. Nope.
It's all here. And this is
Yeah.
again, I'm writing it down. This is all demanding perfection. It's a demanding the
Yeah.
perfection. It's not
It's a
striving.
control thing, isn't? Is it partly control, partly you're probably a highly conscientious person. Like you just don't feel chilled. You don't feel good to just chill. You need to do something to feel like, I don't know, maybe of value, or someone, like you're busy, right? You like to stay busy, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's I guess it's just trying to find the balance. If you're a conscientious person that's trying to chill, that's the battle,
Yeah.
because you always feel like you have to be busy. And if you're not busy, you're like, well, I'm lazy. What am I doing? I need to do something. I got, okay, this is the move. And it just cut. And then before you know it, you've then mowed the lawn 7 times. And you don't even have a lawn. You mowed up the whole the whole community's lawn
Yeah,
to go do
exactly.
something.
Yeah. I have to
So
earn my
yeah,
chill. I have to earn my chill. Like,
yeah, I
otherwise
see it.
I can't chill
I
properly.
see it.
And
That's
even
gonna be
though
interesting.
yeah, and even
Yeah.
though I can chill, like I said, I still had to do something on Sunday. I still had to be like, oh, we'll do this, this, and this. We'll just sort out the toolbox and
Mm,
whatnot. But yeah, no, I
interesting.
mean, like, so I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I mean, I'm not saying that
Mhm.
what I'm saying. I'm not. What I'm saying is I don't want to turn it into a slob. Oh, I'm chilling now and I feel fresh in mind. No, no. I just want to
Never gonna
control these.
happen.
Yeah, I just want to control
Yeah.
these
The
anxiety, the
yeah,
emotions and
the
whatnot
triggers. Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
through and whatnot. Um,
Yeah, I
but
see
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's amazing, man. Like I said, like I told you that time before, I'm really glad that you've done it, and I can't wait to see how you go through it, and how it changes your life for the better. It's gonna be great,
yeah. No,
especially
same
when
here.
when you do have children, And that's a whole nother thing to think about. Like, I think like your mind being kind of focused on other things might then rebalance things, maybe, like along with the therapy and having different responsibilities, maybe it might change things for the better, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see, man. We'll see. It's a process. It's a process. We're always
It
working on
is.
ourselves,
It,
and I think it's
it
important that we
is.
carry on doing it whichever way necessary, I guess.
Exactly. As long as we draw breath, we still fucking learning, we still moving. Like I said before, I'm always, I don't mind, and I'm sure you could probably relate to this. Don't mind the process being slow, but what I fear is not moving. Now that's scary for me.
Mm.
So that's what it is, man.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
100% agreed. 100%. There's always going to be steps forward, whether it's big, small or big or whatnot. But just not
Mm.
moving completely, yeah, nah. Time is the most valuable asset we have in life, right? But nobody sees it because you don't have a bank account or something like with time that says, oh, it's shrinking, oh, it's growing or whatnot. You don't see that value, but time is the biggest value asset that we have in life. And just to lose it, it's
Mm.
tough. It's tough for me because I think about it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But if there was something, I don't know, if you was able to see it like a bank account statement and be like, oh, you're losing it. Yeah,
Uh, uh,
it maybe might trigger off, but like, yeah, like I say, like there's shit to do. Like, and time goes quick as we get older. I don't know why, which fucking days go quick. It's February now, 2024. Like, I'm gonna be 39 in about a month. Like, time just
man,
goes quick. So I
I'm
just
gonna
want
be
to value
35.
time. Like, yes, I have my life. Yes, I have my training. I want to still do these things, but I still want to enjoy life. I do want to experience things. I'm telling the missus, hey, before Ramadan, let's go somewhere. Like, so we have to plan these things. We have to do experience. What's great with my missus now in Dubai, she joined this friends app to meet friends and meet people and whatnot. So I'm like, listen, I will drive you where you need to drive because she's been here alone and I want to support as much as I can. And like, whatever
Beautiful.
and she's met a few people and they like on Sunday they're gonna she's gonna join up to this perfume making thing. I'm like, do it, pay for it. I will drive
Mm.
you there, go meet there, go do it, right? Because I want you to experience it. I want you to meet people and not feel like you're trapped in Dubai. And I'll
Yeah.
support as much as possible. But yeah, same here. I want to experience and have fun in life. So we just want to plan it, you know what I mean? Like make sure I do some stuff as well. So I keep, I'm having value of my time, basically. I'm experiencing great things. I'm working on myself. I'm,
Mm.
chilling and all that sort of stuff, man. I think a
Mm.
waste of time, I don't know, in my opinion, I think a waste of time could possibly, obviously not doing anything and just being a slob, right? But then I
Yeah.
think there's the extreme of just doing everything and not having time to chill or experience life through like a vacation or whatever it is. Like there's that element as well. So it's just finding a good balance, like of
Mm.
of of both. But yeah,
Mm.
time,
Mm.
man, time.
Definitely. I read this really interesting quote. It's in a book that I was reading, that I'm still reading. And it was like, basically some situation happened and this person was like, hey, this is not the right day. Like, this happened on this day. This is not my anniversary. And they were like, what does it matter a day or two? Like, it matters not, no, it's something like a day matters not in the vastness of the universe. And I was like,
Mm,
oh shit.
yeah.
I, and I just remembered to myself, like, it just kind of took me back as to how I ended up acquiring this book. Is because I asked somebody to recommend me a book that was philosophical and spiritual, but also nonfiction. And in that main quote, I was just like, thank you, my unknown friend. You know?
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
That's awesome, man. I mean, how's things in Thailand anyway, man? Outside of that, how's the work going? How's the progress of the
Settling
massage?
down?
Yeah, settling down, the massage therapy stuff, all that sort of stuff. What's going on? What's the updates on that?
Well, it's good. I'm probably gonna have to go and move somewhere else, I think, because massage is not the most easiest thing to do here. Like I said, maybe I said to you before, maybe not. You have to go and learn You have to go and learn Thai in order to do therapy here. Visas and stuff is it's not as easy as it is in other places. So I started looking at Australia,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, and they have like a skill visa, right? Which is if you have a high level skill, then they offer you a visa, depending if they don't have professionals that are native to cover these jobs, and they pay a lot more money, and they understand there's much more work available at higher, because they take it way more seriously than the UK does, or a lot of other places. So I'm applying for some jobs there. I will probably have to jump back to the UK, reset, and then go. But yeah, at the moment I'm just kind of that's where I'm kind of looking at, because I haven't done any therapy for months, and I'm really missing that craft, and I'm almost kind of forgetting that that's like my purpose, part of me. I just look back and I realize I've been doing that for 6 years, and I haven't done it for almost 6 months, and I'm like, yo, this is weird. So I was feeling a bit lost recently, because I'd lost this skill that I had acquired, and I had my routine, and every day I would watch YouTube channels, about 2 or 3 different channels, one chiropractor and one osteopath, and I would watch their videos, and I would learn things, and then I'd go and see my clients, and I'd be like, oh, I learned something about someone had a impingement in their shoulder, and I was like, okay, all right, cool. I go see them, and I'm like, let me try this with you and see the progress. And I love that whole kind of concept of having work that nourishes me, that gratifies me, and I don't have that, and I feel something is missing greatly in my solar system, in a sense. So I had to think really deeply, because I was like, if I want to stay here, I'm just going to be an English teacher, which is fine, but that's only a very small fraction of who I am as a person. I'm a healer. Fuck it, that's what I am, and that's my calling. So yeah, so that's what it looks like. So I'm putting things into motion. I'll let you know when things move over, but I'd say by the end of this month or so, I will be heading somewhere else.
Oh wow. Well, this is big news. I had no idea it was leading in that direction. I mean, of course, you don't want to be in the whole point of going to Thailand was not to be an English teacher, it's to do what you're destined to do, right? Being a healer in a sense. So bro, that's big news. I can't believe, bro, because you haven't even mentioned anything like that on when we were talking through WhatsApp or whatnot. So I have no idea that it got to that point. Um that's crazy, man. But again, I always say, at least you've recognized, at least you haven't settled, at least you haven't lost that goal of why you moved. At least you're not like 3 years in. Oh no, bro, I'm cool. I'm just in Thailand being a teacher. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you recognize, hold on, it's been 6 months. It's not moving, unfortunately. I gotta figure out another thing, be it in Thailand or, as you say, in another country, which is it's just amazing. Again, it's brave again, right? I moved to Australia. It's a whole different country. Like now, I guess it'll have similarities to the UK, but it's very different.
Hmm.
But just acknowledging that, and regardless of what's going on in Thailand or whatnot, you're like, I gotta make this move because it hasn't taken me to where you thought it would have. Do you know what I mean? And that's
Yeah,
important, man. That's
man.
important. Otherwise, imagine that. Imagine 3 years later or 2 years later, you're like, oh, I just realized now. Like,
No,
you know what I mean?
no, I would never let that happen. I mean, the thing is, um, if people don't ask me certain things, I won't say anything about it. I don't really talk about what my thoughts are about certain things, unless you go and, hey, Kurt, what about this one? Oh, well, this is the situation. I won't say anything about it. But I detached myself from Thailand in probably October, when I realized certain things wasn't adding up, and I had to just bide my time. And then with the whole gym that was in Samui, that whole weird thing went really weird. But I could already feel that, you know, they weren't telling me things straight, because imagine, like, imagine you have a new business, a new partnership with somebody, and they say to you, look, G man, your office is not ready. Come back in a couple of weeks time, and you say, okay, fine. 1 month goes past. They haven't told you anything. You go past it. Just to go and check, and your office is done. And you think, wait a minute, how come? That was the first thing I was like, this is not right. Like, the communication is really bad. Like, what's going on? And then eventually down the line, they told me that the rules have changed, and so on and so on. And we can't do business with you. I was like, wow. But I'd already detached from that, and And then I realized it's a lot harder to, unless you're doing remote work or something else, you can't really work here on the ground. So I'd completely let that idea go months ago. And then it kind of got to this point where I'm like, well, it's New Year now, and I'm not building towards anything that I came here to do at all. So I was like, man, this needs to change. But I detach from things so easily, you know. I don't really hold stock in anyone or anything much. I don't, because unlike yourself, I only have expectations of me. The moment I put expectations on you or her or whoever, and they don't meet it, guess what? You become disappointed, and then it becomes the whole chain. And you know, I shut that off like many years ago, just to not expect anything from anybody. And it's been the best of the best things to do. Hope for the best, plan for the worst is one of my phrases I've always loved. It's always got me through a lot of things. So yeah, when people are like, man, you know, you went here and this didn't happen, how do you feel? I'm like, yeah, next step. And they're just like, wow, I don't think I could do that. I'm like, well, you're not me. You know, you hold on to things. I don't. You know, I just move on with the next one. And I'm so glad that I've been able to have those tools, which I developed myself somehow, and to get through things. Because I think, you know, a lot of people would have lost their shit in some regard. You know, because I've had a lot of knockbacks. I've had a lot of rejections. I've had many. You know, but I know, I believe in myself, and I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I want. And that iron will is, nothing can knock it. So you tell me no, I don't give a damn. I'll keep going.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I think that whole part about just not the expectations on others and whatnot. That's, yeah, exactly. It's what I just spoke about earlier. I need to get rid of that, or I need to channel it, control it better. Because I definitely have that. And I didn't realize I had. I think I realized I had it. I didn't realize how much it affects me, not the other person. It affects me more than anything else. After speaking to my therapist, and it still does. The other day, I still got annoyed at someone else who I don't even fucking know. And I'm the one who's angry, not him. He's like, whatever, man. I'm the one. I'm like, why am I?
Yeah,
But that's
you
the way
hold
it
it.
is.
You yeah.
I mean, realization, man. It's a realization, and I hope I could channel that better. Hope I could channel the situations better. I mean, look, on Friday, when I woke up and done my morning routine, I was still annoyed about missing Wednesday's training. So I had to write that down. And I was like, okay, Wednesday's training was striving to be perfect. But by
Sure.
Friday, constantly thinking about it, I'm now
Yeah.
demanding the perfection. You know what I mean? Because I keep thinking of it. So it's
Ah,
like, you're striving to be better because you want to go to wrestling and blah, blah, blah. But if you're still thinking about Friday because you missed it on Wednesday, now you're demanding this on you.
yeah. You just put on like an extra 10 kg on each shoulder by doing all that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, it's Friday. You're doing your workout. It's Friday. We're going to go Moscow after. We're going to go for dinner. No, oh, fuck. I was like, oh, fucking basic. I missed Wednesday training. I was like,
It still got
what?
with you.
So,
Mm,
these are the sort of things that's running through my head.
you're
And this
going
is
through it.
what's been running through my head for the longest time. And
How long are you? Yeah, go on. How long has that been a thing?
I
Can
think
you remember?
I can't pinpoint a time, but I think that it was when I was in Singapore. No, actually, I think it started being at
Mm,
the end of Hong Kong, like my
Hong
last
Kong.
last 2 years of Hong Kong, and then moving into Singapore. Things changed a lot with me mentally. Things changed a lot, and a lot, like I said, a lot of self-criticism. Like
Mm,
I can't remember, but I feel when I was in London, I
mm,
don't think I had much self-criticism, or of course I did, but I didn't elevate it too much. But I had a bit of
yeah,
self-criticism. I feel like the
sure.
last bit of Hong Kong and then Singapore,
Yeah,
my self-criticism went straight up and into a negative zone. And now I think I'm trying to bring it back to a more of a, like,
neutral. Or
neutral zone. Like, because sometimes
negate
I
that.
think I need it, but I've taken it to a negative zone, and I think I need to come out of that. And that's where I think I'm in my journey. I think ultimately, so just being open again. When I spoke to my therapist and said, look, this is what my problem, my number one problem is sleep, and number two, that leads to
Oh my God.
it leads
Yes, of
to
course.
yeah, and it
Jeez.
leads to negative self-criticism. So, you
Yes.
know, and then there's
Yes.
other things as well. So we're just trying to get through
Mm.
all of that. And
I go on. Sorry.
no, just saying that's my thing. Those are my sort of main sort of points that I'm not saying I want to get cured to, because I don't know if there's a cure, but just kind of channel those things and
Yeah.
manage those things
Manage it.
accordingly. And maybe you know, the main thing is sleep, right? So maybe the things that I'm self-criticism and all this other sort of stuff, anxiety, whatever, if I can manage those, it might help with
Yeah.
sleep better, which will
Mm.
ultimately help with everything else. I don't know. Like, this is the process, right?
Yeah. Well, of course, like if you're not sleeping, your cortisol levels, which is your stress, the enzymes of stress, that's going to be super elevated and jacked, right? And that can affect your weight, your mood, your appetite, like your functionality, your everything, your cognitive thinking, everything is all like fried if you're not sleeping. So that's one thing. So that, yeah, correct. The other thing is when you mentioned about Hong Kong, and I kind of knew you were going to say Hong Kong because I don't remember you having this back then. And from what I gather about, and of course, I'm no therapist at all or anything, but just by thinking about what you're saying, it's about control. And you had a lot of fucked up shit happen to you over there, right? And you probably felt hopeless, like you had lost control. So maybe there's an element of gaining control over your kind of existence or your routine is your way to get your power back. It's mine, like maybe I wouldn't be surprised if that's a part of it. Control is a part of it.
Yeah, they definitely. I won't be. I mean, yeah, it could be. It could be because I don't like when things are outside of me. When things go outside of
Yeah.
my control, it's hard for me to be like, oh, it is what it is. Like it's like,
Mm.
why, like Wednesday, for example, why I planned it,
Mm.
why I planned it, but it was
Yeah.
all out of my control at the end. But I was still like, oh,
Right.
I could have planned it better. It's like, oh, but I mean, I
Mm.
took away something from that day. It was like learning. All right, cool.
Good.
Next time, if I want to
Yeah.
buy something from this individual, go on a
Yeah.
Saturday and blah blah.
Go on it.
But
Yeah.
but it was out of my control, and my missus was like,
Yeah.
"Well, it's out of your control," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I could have planned
Yeah.
it better." You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, man. Like I said, I'm happy that you've done that, and yeah, the process is the process, man.
Process is the process. But on that note,
Well,
guys, we are
yeah.
here to talk about some fights. I say we get into some fights, some fight news. We had a UFC fight night that happened
Yes.
yesterday or Sunday, should I
85.
say? Woman, was it 85? I don't even know if they have a number to it
Uh,
anymore.
they did
But
have a
yeah,
number two, but I forgot what it was though. But yeah, go on.
yeah, Roman Dolidze versus Nassourdine Imavov.
Imavov. Yeah.
A fight night
Yeah.
card. Two up and coming guys, two middleweight beasts, and I think Roman broke his arm before. If I remember correctly, he broke his
Is that what
arm,
happened?
and he
Oh
was
shit.
out for a while and whatnot.
Ah,
And it
I
was a
haven't.
great back and forth fight, and I think both of them
It
showed
was.
amazing heart. Both of them showed why like they're growing in this division. I mean,
Mm.
Nasruddin, like in the first round, it looked like he was going to finish Roman. He hit him. Did you watch
Mm.
the fight? Right, he hit him with a
Yeah,
knee,
yeah, yeah.
and then he
Yes.
ground and pound. But
Yeah.
Roman just stood in and
It just
had
hung in
who
there.
was a ref,
Mm.
Herb Dean or something. Give stripes to him for not like stopping the fight.
Yeah, yeah,
Because the
yeah.
fight
It hung
at
in
the
there.
end was like back and forth. I know there was a lot of cage up against the cage, sort of pushing and grappling and
It
stalling.
was.
I don't know if it was stalling, but I think they both kind of ran out of gas, especially in that first round. Um,
Yeah, they went in, man.
and then they tried to pace themselves in the last couple rounds, which was a tough, grueling fight when you looked at it, man.
Very
Um,
well deserved, man.
yeah, definitely. I mean, look, Nasruddin pulled it out. He won by decision.
Yep.
Considering he lost a point because of the kick to
Yes.
the downed opponent. Uh,
Yes.
so that was,
What do
I
you
mean, yeah,
go
I
on?
think that first round gave him I didn't see the scorecard, but I gave him a 10-8. And then that round he lost the point, so he kind of went even and whatnot. Um, so
Mm,
I feel like
makes
that's what
sense.
happened. Yeah. But yeah, what was your thoughts on the on the fight?
I wanted to ask you, like, because we've had a couple like downed opponents getting kneed and whatnot. like, what did you think about this one in comparison to the other one? Because he got like a straight deduction on this one, whereas the other one's kind of been contested and so on. Like, what did you think was different about this one in comparison to the other one, where the guy was doing the whole hopping business?
Yeah, I think okay. So that was I'm trying to remember that what it was. That was the British dude, isn't it?
Um.
I've gone
Oh,
blank. The British guy, right? English dude.
jeez, hold on. No, it wasn't him. It was. Oh, jeez. Arnold Allen.
Alan. Yes.
Arnold
Okay.
Allen.
I
Yeah.
think I think they need like on that one. He was trying to pick him up, pick him up, pick
Yeah.
him. So he had he knew what he was trying to do. In this one, it looks like Roman just had his hand on the floor, and then Nassourdine actually it looked like he was seeing it, and he just kicked him in the head.
Kicked him in the, yeah,
But
the intent.
I think they need to make the rules clearer. Like
Yeah.
if you're just placing just to avoid, and you can blatantly know when someone's just trying to play the rules or not, then it should be
Yeah.
allowed. But if you're
Yeah.
literally your weight's on it because your weight distribution has been pushed towards your hands, and you know you got 3 points of contact or 4 points of contact which has weight on it,
Mm.
then I think should be allowed. Like if you wanna define the rules and not get hit in the head, instead of just
Mm.
putting your hand down, maybe
Mm.
you literally have to drop, right? But people don't want to do that because you don't want to be taken
Because
down.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if you want to play, so I think they need to make it very clear, like enough with just playing with the rules. Like you've got to, if you do that, you're allowed to get kicked in the head, even if it's two hands. If you're like that, but if you could see
Mm.
that your weight is on top and whatnot,
Mm.
then you can't. That's that. I mean, but that's my opinion.
Mm.
But there's too much around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll answer your question in a moment, but I was gonna say that I've heard they might look at changing or adapting some of the rules. I'm not sure which rules exactly. Have you heard about that?
I heard something about UFC 300. Was there something around then? Or
I think it. I think it was about the rules in general.
mm,
Maybe even the 6 to 12, the 12 to 6, maybe. I don't know. I just heard that they might be looking at the rules and maybe revising some stuff. But
Well, they should
yeah,
allow knees and kicks to the ground in the gym. I mean, you could do it when you're standing up. You can
pride.
elbow the shit out of someone on the floor. Why can't you? And it will change things. It will change a bit of the move, like some of the positions you will be
Yeah,
comfortable getting yourself into. Like
yeah.
ONE FC do it, they allow it, and it definitely, like I say, change how you got to position yourself on the floor. Like, can I
Mm.
just sit in a turtle position and be cool? No, like someone might kick you in the head. Now,
You know
so
what?
yeah.
That's a good point because, like, that might reduce the fact that people stalling on the ground because, like, motherfucker, you're a footballer.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so
and
that might change dynamics of
yeah,
the fight. Yeah.
and I don't know, but I feel like you can generate unless someone's literally soccer kicking you.
Like,
But in general, I think you can
ah,
generate more power with an elbow coming down when someone's on top of you in your guard or whatnot, compared to like someone has your side control and is just throwing knees from side control.
knees.
I think I don't know, but I think it'll just change things. I think it will change,
Yeah.
this rule and whatnot. It'll just kind of get rid of all of that. You know what I mean? People playing the game or
Yeah.
whatnot. But yeah, let's see.
That's
Because
a
if I think if ONE FC has brought over to come over to the US and they've implemented
mm,
their rules, then the UFC
mm.
could look at that and be like, well, ONE FC did it. We could just,
That's
make,
exactly what I
yeah.
was gonna. Because, well, not necessarily that rule of the kicking, but there's other rules that they have in ONE Championship which are pretty good. Like, for example, the judging system. I think that's really good in ONE Championship in regards
How's that
to.
different? How's that different?
So in UFC, it's judged by round. Each round is judged, right? Where in ONE
Mm,
Championship, they judge the whole fight and in its entirety, and then
mm,
it's graded that way rather than how it is in UFC. So it's kind of like Pride rules was the same thing.
mm,
You're judged for the whole entire fight, not round by round.
mm.
And yeah, I think it does. It gives you a bit of a clearer answer when it comes to these close fights, and oh, well, this round this happened, and that, no, in the entire fight, this happened versus that one. So we have a winner. So yeah, I think it's a fairer way to do it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So
Cool. We'll see what they do. I mean, the great thing about this sport is that it's still
yeah,
new.
it's
It's
still
still
growing.
new.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
still
it's still
growing. Yeah.
growing. Athletes are changing, rules are changing, all these sort of things. So, it's still exciting, man. It's still exciting. Um,
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
move on to the next fight, man. We had Renato Mercado versus Drew Dober. Did you see that fight?
Hanato. I did. Like I always forget that guy actually fights because he's always doing his podcast, Hanato Marcano.
I've never
He's
seen it.
always
He
like,
was promoting it the other on the fight. Like I've never seen it. Is it good?
oh, I don't know. When I watch my like UFC roundup trash talk news, which I've told you is a lot of it is clickbait, and every now and then he has a segment where he's talking about this and that. So I only hear it from there. But because he's been injured, I think for a while, so he's been on it a lot. But anyway, yeah, really, really grueling fight this one as well. It was tough, man. It was a really,
Another
really
good,
tough fight.
yeah, because
Yeah,
Drew Dober looked like on standing up, like obviously very powerful and trying to throw those shots.
powerful.
And then,
Yeah.
but Hanato, like when he took him down, he had
Yeah,
control.
no,
Obviously, there was like
yeah,
jujitsu, as well. So he was able to
yeah,
control on the ground. Now, Drew Dober was trying to scramble and whatnot. There was a few takedowns that he was able to stuff and
yeah,
counter and
yeah.
whatnot. So he was always game, but it was a bloody fight. It was a
Control.
very
Yeah,
grueling, bloody fight between them. So I
yeah,
feel it was fucking good fight, man. Good fight. I didn't expect
yeah.
it to go in that sort of way, but it made sense. It made sense because Hanato, he's with correct me if I'm wrong, it's Charles Oliveira, right? Is it was with that crew? Or is it different?
I don't actually remember. I think so though. I think he is, and they're obviously all black belt jujitsu practitioners all the way, and wrestlers. I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
But Drew Dober, like you said, a powerful guy. The knockout's always going to be there. But yeah, like Hanato did what makes sense. But it was really bloody. I think Hanato's eye was almost swollen. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a tough affair for sure. But I think the better man won. I think
Yeah, yeah. And with
on the day.
Trudeau, I mean, obviously he's a great prospect and everything. I feel like, we saw it with Islam Makhachev for what. As soon as he gets taken down, there's a like obviously a supreme grappler as in
Yeah,
Islam and whatnot has that dominance over him. And then Hanato was able to show that again that there's a little bit of a even though Drew Dober's
skill
like
gap.
always game and scrambling and whatnot, there's a bit of a dominance of a skill gap basically and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. But would you call Drew Dober still a prospect? You think? Would you?
I mean, he's still young. He's still young. He's still got a lot to grow
Okay,
and
age
whatnot.
wise,
Yeah, yeah, I guess
if
so.
not really, 35. Not really, man.
Is he 35? How old is he?
Yeah, he's 35. He ain't
Okay,
really that
that
young.
then he ain't that
Yeah,
young.
nah, not like he ain't no prospect, man. He's not a vet either, but he's been around the block for a bit. Like he's got 13 losses, 27 wins, 13 losses. He hasn't fought the who's who, but he's been around. So yeah, no, he needs to change his luck. Otherwise, what are you offering for the company?
Well, yeah, I might have spoke out of term then for saying that. But maybe this is just a job. So every so often I need to get paid. Not in that sense, but obviously it's his job. It is his job, right? So, but maybe he should start thinking about, all right, with the money I make, I need to start investing in. All of these fighters should do it, like investing in after fighting. You know what I mean? Because this is not a permanent job. This is a
This is not a
temporary job
permanent
while
job.
your body and
Yes.
your mind is in that physical peak, and then after. So I mean, look, then
Mm,
I look. Obviously, when I say obviously, no, with no disrespect, I don't think he's getting up to any title fights or whatnot. So yeah,
mm.
let's see how long he wants to carry this on.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. But yeah,
Um, let's move
time to
on to
run it,
the
man. Yeah,
performance of the
man.
night. Randy Brown
Randy
versus
Brown.
Muslim.
That was a great fight.
Bro, that knockout was like, and the reason why it was
That
great,
was
and
shoo, shoo,
Muslim's
shoo.
like movement is great too because obviously he's a kung fu guy and
He's
whatnot.
a
So he
kung
throws
fu
great
master.
kicks
Yeah,
and spinning back and
yeah,
spinning wheel kicks and whatnot.
yeah,
There was a lot of mutual respect between them. But yeah,
yeah.
when he done the double jab
Oh
straight, just
my
moving to the left was
God.
nice. That was nice the way he
Oh,
moved to the left.
crisp
Um,
as a fucking leaf in the winter. That was nice, man. That was clean.
That was very
Yeah.
clean. I just like the fact that he was moving to the left, and I believe that's away from Muslim's power side.
Our
So
shot,
it
yes.
was so nice how they game planned that, how we
Oh,
saw that.
yeah,
It just
yeah.
what it was beautiful. It was such a
It was
great movement, great technique, great observation, great everything, man.
craftsmanship. And I don't know if you heard, but Randy Brown's corner, they spotted it. Did you hear that? And they were like, "Oh, they've seen something. They've seen something." And then
Mm.
it happened. And I think Cormier asked him when was it Cormier who interviewed him? Maybe it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, I think so, yeah.
And he asked him, "What was it that he said to you?" And they said, "Oh yeah, we saw that we're moving with his power shot to get our shot." And I was like, "Oh damn!" So they clocked it in the moment, and that was nice.
It
They
was
executed
nice. It was
that
very
triple.
nice. That was clean. That was just,
Yeah,
yeah, beautiful. Beautiful from all aspects. Uh,
yeah,
cool, man.
nice.
The
I
female
didn't
women's flyweight
see.
bout,
I didn't
Vivian
see.
Araújo versus Natalia Silva. Um,
No, I didn't see that
Natalia
one.
Silva, I think she was a taekwondo expert and whatnot. Man, she had pace and whatnot and speed. And I think that's what ultimately won her the fight, the pace and the speed. But she
Mm,
was just throwing like strikes and head kicks and whatnot. It was really good. I mean, again, I think Viviana was trying to take her down, was pushing her against the fence. But the moment Natalia was able to get some space and her lateral movement, constantly moving left and right, constantly moving left and right, was just what I think was the key to it. Her movement, and then just when she did do a barrage of strikes, she would just go out there and using that tripod. I feel like she could have used her legs a bit more. She did use her hands on when she was using her hands. I feel like a lot of times she was hitting air, like she wasn't committing to engaging in the distance and being in the pocket. But I feel like in that she should have just used her kicks a lot more and whatnot. But ultimately, her lateral movement is what I think kept Viviana like constantly trying to chase
Ace.
her, move her, and whatnot. And I
Mm,
think like if Vivian wanted to impose her game plan, I don't know, maybe she could have tried to I don't know, like try to impose on Silver's ego. I'll stand here and fight with me, right? Because that's what she wanted.
mm,
Instead, but I don't know.
okay.
But I feel like Silver's like, I don't know, but she could more of a professional to be like, nah, my lateral movement is what's good for me. I'm gonna keep
What's
doing that
gonna
because
win me
that's
this
what,
fight?
yeah. So that's what that was pretty awesome from her perspective, just that
With
movement.
with okay, so the movement was the main the X factor. But with Viviane, do you know her fighting style? Is she wrestling heavy? Is she like you know what she's like?
Be honest with you, I'm not,
Oh,
I wasn't too
okay,
familiar with her base or whatnot, so I'm not sure.
okay,
It looked like from this, like based on, I think it was boxing and just like wanted to drive her towards the cage and whatnot and use
okay.
cage pressure and stuff. So that's what it looked like. So I don't know really.
Oh, okay. The reason I asked is because when you mentioned about the kicking and not really committing, I'm thinking, okay, maybe she's getting ready for a takedown defense, so she's trying to not, half heart the kicks, maybe. But okay, if you don't know the style, then who knows?
Yeah, yeah. We're moving on to the next middleweight bout, which ended immediately.
Oh, I didn't even wait. How?
Alas,
Why?
Alaska, I can't say his name. Alakab versus.
Alias Hub. No, Alask. No, Alask Hub. Alask Hub.
Go on,
Alask Hub.
say all of it, bro. Please. I can't do that.
Alask Hub Kizirev. Alashab Kiriviv. No, that's not it.
Yeah.
I did as far as I could do, man.
Versus Mahmoud
Alashab
Muradov.
Muradov. Yeah, there you go.
Immediate eye poke, and immediately Muradov's eyes closed. Muradov as well, but Mahmoud's eyes closed immediately. It was a bad eye poke,
Oh.
very bad. Yeah, happened. I swear it happened with the first engagement. 11 seconds.
Damn.
Yes, first
Yeah, I
moment
see
they
it. Yeah.
engaged straight away.
Yeah.
So
Shit, man. Damn.
that is unfortunate.
Wow.
So we didn't get a chance to see nothing there.
Rematch?
Um,
Have you heard about that or
Don't know,
not yet?
nothing
No.
to be honest
No.
with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that
Okay.
just happened. Yeah, so and I guess
Okay.
it wasn't like it was a main event or like I think it was just one of
Yeah.
those fights where it's just like, well, we'll move on from that.
Oh, yes. Get to the prelims, man. I saw these fights, man. Damn. There were some good
Okay,
fights.
why don't you
Yeah.
talk about the prelims? Because I didn't watch the prelims. I just watched the main cards. Why don't you go through the prelims?
You know that guy. Okay, I'll pick him at random. Fimba Gorimbo. You know the guy that The Rock gave the house to.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he had his fight against Pete Rodriguez. Pete Rodriguez. I think he knocked out. I think he knocked. Remember that guy Mike Jackson? I think it's him. The guy who fought CM Punk and he was doing
Mm.
dolo punches.
Oh
Right. He
yeah.
knocked his. Yeah, he knocked his ass out, and he kind of put himself on the map as like a knockout artist. He knocked a couple other fighters out as well. And Garimbo, man, he man, I didn't knock him out. He Yeah, he ducked down and went for overhand and caught him like flush, like somewhere here on the jaw, and then he just gave him like one pip, and that was it, done. It was like what was it now? 32 seconds knockout.
Oh, okay, I should have watched that, man. Oh, I'll try and pull up my little bit.
Yeah. And he was like, I manifested this from like 2 weeks ago and so on. And and then they talked about how The Rock helped him out because he said he only had $7 in his pocket at the
Yeah.
time and so on. And yeah, no, he's doing it, man. He's doing it. Let's see what he can do. He's from Zimbabwe. That's I think the first Zimbabwean UFC fighter. Is it? Is that right? Maybe.
Is he?
Maybe, but either way, man, that's great for Zimbabwe, and he's doing his thing, man. So like all to him.
You know what? Literally, as we're going to talk, I'm gonna try and put that fight on. I'm trying to
You're gonna
log
try to see it.
into.
I mean, it's
log
32
into.
seconds, so
Yeah, exactly. Where is the prelims? Where's
Molly
prelims?
McCain fought too. I didn't see the fight, but I know she won by submission.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. What's your take on her? I mean, she kind of that lost because she lost to somebody who was fighting on the same card. That was her last fight, her last loss with the armbar. Julia Stolenko. You remember she gave her the armbar? Yeah, so she fought on this card and she got knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what my thoughts is on Molly McCain. I feel like
you reckon she'll come back?
I don't mean to be bad, not in a bad way. I feel like she was obviously smashing it. She had a great spinning elbow knockout. I can't remember against who, but no, she had a great stuff. I think she was going a lot of
Paddy's wave. Yeah.
That's what I feel like. And just not using that. They were both friends and whatnot, so they were just kind of amplifying each other and whatnot.
Opportunity, right?
Yeah. I'm watching
man,
the prelim now. I've quickly pulled up that fight, so let it just load up.
You should. There was another good fight as well, which was Azat Maksum versus Charles Johnson. That was unexpected because Azat Maksum, I think he's one of them. Is he from Uzbekistan? He's from
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan. Apologies. So I'm thinking, Kazakhstan, obviously Rakhmonov. Right, this guy's he's hard. Yeah, that's it. And he was winning most of the fight. Actually, he was controlling a lot of the fight, but he just like at some point, I think he ran out of gas, and Johnson just was able to just put pressure, gather himself, and just kind of grind it out and win. So it was a 180 situation because it looked like it was going to be Azat's fight, but I think he blew his gas tank too early, man. That's what I said.
So you know what? Oh, I just saw the knockout. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
delicious, right?
Yeah, and then just
delicious,
vicious ground and pound. Yeah, had to be finished. Yeah, he went for a single leg on Herb almost.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Man, yeah, I think, and a lot of not criticism, but a lot of things have been coming out about some of the fighters from Chechnya and Kazakhstan and that region is that first round blitz that they keep coming out with. Like Hamza has obviously shown that, right? You're saying as I might have done a bit. So was the beat like that? I mean,
yeah, I mean, remember that you saw that fight he had with who was it? And then like he kind of dropped down as the fight. You remember that fight?
Remember that dude, Jay. Well, that was a great fight, but I don't know if he tried to
Stevens. Was it Stevens?
Jeremy Stevens?
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, he showed that cardio a little bit like maybe a deficiency or something.
Maybe, I mean, but a lot of these fights, even the guy who fought Sean Strickland like 2 fights ago or whatever, the one that
Abbas,
and he's a beast as well. He's a beast,
yeah.
But they have this mentality of like, I got to finish in the first round. And we were talking about this with Hamza, right? In the first 4 fights, 5 fights he had, cool. But once you get to the higher echelon, no, like it's not gonna work. You need to learn to pace yourself. And he did it to Kevin Holland. I think he tried to do it to Usman. And we saw what happened with Usman, tried to do like it's like you need to like
Gilbert Burns.
Yeah. No, I think with Gilbert Burns, actually, I do feel like he was a little bit more composed. And I feel like not composed, he wanted to strike with him. There was something else there, like he wanted to knock him out. But yeah, it's like it's not gonna work with the higher echelon. No, like I'm not saying Azat and Charles are higher echelon, but you know, you gotta know, like, you know, you gotta find that pace, you
Mm.
know. So it's interesting.
Yeah, they obviously want to get home real quick and call it a night or something, man. Like, because they all seem to do that same thing. But yeah, they'll grow or they'll go, right?
So
Simple.
we'll see how it goes, man. But that was that card. I mean, next week we got Jack Hermanson versus what's his name? Piper. Joe
Oh, is
Piper.
Joe
You know
Joe
what?
Python? Yeah,
When I
yeah.
said that thing broke his arm, it might have been Joe Piper actually that broke his arm that's been out for a while. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. But Jack Hermanson, Joe Piper. Jack Hermanson obviously shown like because he like knee barred like Kelvin Gastelum and all this sort of stuff, right? If I remember
Yes.
correctly.
Yeah.
He beat who's the
Let me see.
Scouser?
I'm gonna say Darren Till, maybe.
Darren Till. I'm pretty sure he beat Darren. Was it him or Duplessis? It might be getting them too mixed up.
Oh, Duplessis hasn't lost in the UFC.
So it might have been Duplessis.
So he's beaten Chris Curtis. He's beaten Roman Dolidze, the guy in the main card. He's beaten Edman Shabazian. Beat him. Kelvin Gastelum, you're right, he beat him. So yeah, he's been beating some decent competition.
Well, he's a number 10 in the middleweight division, so it's definitely, you know, top 10.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
so
So trying to
that's
break
next
in.
week. Dan Ige's fighting Andre Philly.
Dan
Uh,
Ige's got beautiful boxing, man. What do you think?
yeah, great boxing. Yeah, amazing
Oh
boxing.
man, so amazing, like so crisp to watch his boxing for sure.
Yeah, no, we got who else is on the card? Brad Tavares is on the card. Michael Johnson is on the card.
Oh
Um,
wow,
yeah,
Darius Flowers. Don't know him. Who else? Who else? I think that's the big boom of the card. No,
yeah.
I don't know the rest of them, but you know we may do after next week. You never know.
Oh, yeah,
We may do.
exactly. I mean, that's the
We
whole
may.
point of these fight cards, and even
Yeah.
people who like how do I put it? When we say we're the basic MMA analysts, like we literally have day jobs, and then we try and watch as many fights and all this sort of stuff as possible. We try to give our thoughts. Even for me, for us, it's hard to remember all the fighters and their fighting styles and who they follow. Like we're doing the best we can as fans based on what our timing and whatnot. So that's the whole point of these fight cards to kind of help us again, give us
Yeah.
that what one, entertain us with the fights, and two, just kind of get us to get to know new fighters and whatnot and see their
Yeah.
journeys. February
Definitely.
18th is the big one, and we should do another fight watch along, which is Volkanovski versus Tapura. So I guess we could talk more about that
Yeah.
next week in more details.
Yeah.
But that should be,
Sure.
we got Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa, Jeff Neal versus Ian Gary,
Oh yes! I want to see somebody
Marab,
shut his ass up.
well,
Oh,
Marab Cejudo, well,
what? That
yeah,
I
it's
didn't know
just,
that was official. Wow, that
mm-hmm.
one flew over my head. Wow.
So let's try and do a what
Yeah.
you call it, fight talk about, no, watch along
On
with Yusuf on that one. So that'd be good. Other
That's
than
a
that,
nice card. Yeah.
other fight news, you heard about Tyson Fury pulling out, and then the Saudi guy saying there's a $10 million fine if you pull out. Have you heard about this?
Not even the slightest iota. What? Tell me more.
So there was a
No.
cut. Tyson Fury suffered a cut in sparring. I think the fight's in what, 2 weeks or something,
Oh,
and then
I
he's
heard
gonna
about the.
pull out against his fight against Usyk. And to be honest with you, I don't know how much hype there's around with this fight anyway, but especially because of his like what happened with Ngannou and whatnot. Anyway, then I started hearing that the Saudi prince or whoever puts it in is in charge of all of that was like, well, there's a $10 million fine if you don't show up to the fight. So that's kind of crazy.
Wow, I didn't know about that. No, damn.
Yeah, so I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's the update after that.
I haven't heard anything on that one. I heard about the cut, but I didn't think it was consequential to anything. But I'm gonna do some research on that one. So yeah, crazy. What about UFC 300? Like, what are you hearing about that? Because that seems to be all over the place. I'm hearing they should drop Chandler and they should put Nate with Connor. I'm seeing Dustin Poirier meant to fight is it Saint Denis? Is it Saint Denis? I think.
What's his name? I'm trying to pull it up now.
Then it's someone, but there's all this shuffling going around. Like even they're talking about trying to push um Israel versus Dricus for 300. Like, have you heard about that one? Has that caught your ear?
Yes, I've heard about that one. I'm trying to find the Dustin Poirier one because I think Dustin Poirier said that he was out, but I don't see him on the card no more. But he was out. I can't remember who it was. And then I saw a tweet saying, "Guys, I think I spoke too soon. My management told me the fight's
Yeah,
back on." So I don't know. But I'm not seeing it on the
yeah.
card. But man, this card's got it's full of like ex-champions and champions and like
Mm,
think about how many champions are on this bloody card. Man, think about you got Jim Miller, Bobby Green. That's gonna be fucking amazing, legends and whatnot.
mm.
Jessica Andrade was a champion. You got
Oh man,
Holly Holm was a champion. You got Davison Figueiredo, Colby Garbrandt, both champions.
damn, yeah.
Ex-champion
Oh,
Aljamain Sterling is a champion.
oh
Yair
shit.
Prochazka champion. Charles
Yes,
Oliveira champion. Justin Gaethje, Max
yeah.
Holloway champions. What? Justin Gaethje being the BMF champion.
Technically, yeah.
Zhang Wei
Technically,
Li
yeah, yeah,
champion, and then
yeah.
it's fucking crazy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh
Look,
my
Dana is holding
days.
out, right? So
Yeah,
we're
he
obviously
is.
expecting something big. I think
Yeah.
already this card is sick. So whatever they give us, I'm not going to be
Yeah,
disappointed at all.
yeah.
Even if
Me
it's something
neither.
like no matter what, it's going to be amazing. Even if it's like, oh, I wanted Khabib versus Conor to like, no, like if you have that kind of expectation, I think whatever you get is going to be amazing. So I'm looking forward to what this card was already amazing. So
It's ridiculous. I just pray to the MMA gods that nobody gets injured. That's it. Because
that's it. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
because Bo
yeah.
Nickel as well. That's
Bo
his
Nickel, yeah.
second fight in the UFC, right?
No, I think third. I think third because he
Oh,
fought. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's third.
okay,
Or maybe I don't know if it's even more, but it might be third. But yeah, high
okay,
prospect, high crazy prospect. Hopefully they build him up
yeah.
nicely.
I think out of all of this, which fight are you looking forward to the most? And that's a very difficult question. But which one are you like? I really cannot wait to just eyeball the fuck out of this fight.
I
Any of them?
think
Tell me.
all of them, but
Yeah,
all of them.
I
But
want
I think Justin
one.
Gaethje versus Max
Yeah,
Holloway. For
yeah.
me,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
Justin Gaethje,
really?
Max Holloway. Yeah, I think so.
Mm,
I mean, look, thinking about it more, I don't like the fight for Max Holloway, but he's just such a beast. He's so amazing at what he does. He's just a warrior, and I'm glad he's having these fights. I think he should just have these fights now. No
yeah.
more chasing that title
Mm,
at 145. Forget that, man. You're a legend. Let's have legendary fights. But I would say that one. I'm sure this will
that
evolve
one.
more. There's still more to it. This is in April, so
Yeah,
this card will evolve so
yeah,
much more.
for
What other
sure.
news have you heard this week? I'm trying to think. What other news?
There was a no, that's not really interesting. Is it Kayla Harris? She got signed, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
and
yes, yes, yes.
the big talk about her is she doesn't cut weight, or she hasn't cut weight, so she's having to practice cutting weight. Or you heard about that?
Yeah. I don't know about the weight part, but yes, they
Oh,
signed up. Was she supposed to be on UFC 300 or was it on the Miami card or something?
I'm not sure, but they've already I think they've already got a fight for her, and Raquel Pennington was just like, she ain't ready for this competition or some shit. So she's already like, yo, like this is next level type shit. But from what I was hearing, aside from that, is that she said herself that she hasn't cut weight before, she hasn't needed to or something. So this is like a new thing for her. So that's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, no disrespect to any other organizations or whatnot, but there is a different level in the UFC, from a fighter perspective, obviously, and then from a marketing perspective and a high impact perspective, all that sort of stuff,
Yeah,
right? So it could be, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, she's an exciting prospect coming from the PFL. She's been smashing it in the PFL, all that sort of stuff.
yeah,
So, we'll see how that goes, man.
powerful. She's an Olympian as well. She's almost like Ronda Rousey
Ronda
esque, because
Rousey.
she's right, because she's a sixth dan black belt in judo,
Mm,
but she smashes people unlike Ronda Rousey did. So she's got
yeah.
that extra grit, and the competition she's fighting, I can't say what they're about, but when she comes to the UFC, we're gonna see what she's really about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, Ronda Rousey, like, she was amazing at that armbar, man. You can't deny the way that she always found that armbar with everyone was just
Yes.
like that's expert level in that technique. But when it
Magnetic.
came, yeah, but when it came down to yeah, no, we don't
The
need to go into that. But yeah, it was just like, she couldn't overcome the loss. I'm like, you lose in life. And the fact that she couldn't overcome that
that
was just
part.
kind of like, but that's okay. It's not a bad, how do I pull it? Like, um,
It's not a knock on her, like not a
I'm
criticism.
not trying to put a knock on her or anything like that. People handle things differently, but she was a world champion. Her coaches, her people around her maybe should have helped her with a mentor. Not saying that she had to come back or anything, but just the way she handled it. She avoided everything. She avoided
Mm.
media, all that sort of stuff. Like, I think it was good. I think eventually she did speak out, but she still got to get credit
Yeah.
for what at her time, what she did, how she
Oh,
helped build the women
yes.
division and whatnot in UFC. She still got to get time for that, credit for that.
Absolutely. And speaking of women who have done great things in the sport of combat, I just watched something about, you remember China from WWE?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And like she doesn't get much credit because she ended up doing adult movies at some point, and they kind of like shunned her, and she got inducted to the Hall of Fame, but as part of DX, not solely for China. And I was watching like what she had done, because she changed a lot of, I bet you this, a lot of women who are in the UFC now probably got inspired by China, because she was an animal, like her physique and her confidence and charisma and so on. I'm sure there's crossover for that. And, she was a pioneer for a lot of women that were afraid to look big and a bit more masculine and have muscle. And she just smashed all of that, and she got no credit for any of that, really. And I thought, like, man, it's really sad, because it seemed like at the end of it, everybody kind of turned their back on her in a sense. Anyway, Ronda Rousey, yeah, there's credit where credit's due. She changed the whole sport of MMA and women's MMA, period. Absolutely. I just feel like the competition evolved, right? And with fucking head movement in your corner, it's like she wasn't able to develop and match them and surpass them. That's what I feel was her downside. Of course, the media and whatever, but I think inside of her own self and around her camp, that's what should have happened. She should have been able to improve and lift and grow and take on new styles or improve certain things. And it didn't happen. And people surpassed her. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, some people go through generations like, John Jones, right? I mean, he's an
Yeah.
extreme case. I think she was
Oh yeah.
great in her generation, and then as the game
Yeah.
evolved, she wasn't able to get through the next generation. Silver
Yeah.
got through a few, GSP,
Yeah.
they got through a few,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's tough, I feel like,
Mm.
yeah, so maybe that's what it is, like she was amazing and dominated her generation. Then
That
after,
yeah. That's
yeah,
it. Yeah. So
yeah.
for me, she's a GOAT. I don't care about what happened with Amanda Nunes, how she got knocked about Holly. She put women's MMA on the map. I mean, after Gina Carano, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's the first one. And then it was her. So anybody says anything different, they're watching a different sport.
Yeah, listen, there's times, right? In her time, she was amazing.
Yeah,
After her time, you can't put GSP
that's it.
or Anderson Silva now. Like we've seen what happened, or Royce Gracie now, or Khabib in for I think in 5, 10 years maybe. Like you can't do that. Like it just doesn't
No,
work because then it's never
no.
ending. Yes, John Jones has
Yeah,
gone through like
yeah,
3 generations, but 10 years
yeah.
from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when you got this supreme beast who's probably training now, you're gonna be like, oh, would he be able to beat John Jones? We don't know. Like it's generations. You gotta let it be. Like you gotta
Yeah.
give it the time. Like it's just. I think
Mm,
it's almost a silly one because times have changed. Bruce Lee or Would he be? No, listen. Back in the '60s, he was ahead of his game, thinking of mixed martial art. No, it's like it's different. It's different. Let them be legends and goats in their time, and they just
mm.
fall into that goat category. And then
That's it.
that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
It's it's a non-argument. But you know what? Like we talk about with the like I watch my MMA news stuff. I even watch another a channel about football, and I see like a lot of clickbait stuff, and I'm thinking to myself like, this is not for me. You just putting this stuff out there just for the sake of it to get clicks and likes. So I'm thinking a lot of these people have these arguments and debates just for their channel, just so they can put bread on the table, and that's really what it is. Because it's not really it's a non-answer. really, there's no answer to it.
No, definitely not. What other news, man? Anything else? Anything else you heard before we
I
log off?
the only thing I saw was what's his name? Conor Benn. You know Conor Benn, the boxer? I know you're not really a big boxer fan. He was meant to fight Chris Eubank Jr.'s son. Conor Benn got busted for drugs. Now he's back and he beat the shit out of this guy over the weekend. I don't know what significance it has to anything, but lever was thrown and it was combat. So that's all.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the boxing side of things, man.
Okay. Well, that's I think like because Conor Benn and Chris Eubank, they're both offsprings of their fathers were both boxers, right? So they're
Yeah.
the offspring, and they were going to have a fight together. And basically, Chris Eubank Senior didn't want his son to fight this guy's son because there was a certain kind of level of like it was a highly emotional fight that he had with his father, and he said he didn't want his son to go into it because it was too much emotions, and he didn't want to back him for that fight. And then it ended up that Conor Benn ended up getting busted for drugs, so it didn't happen. But you know, there's a little bit of story
Well,
behind it. But
maybe it's smart from Chris Eubank because he just knows the emotions, the damage that you could put in yourself with boxing is dangerous. It's dangerous, right? Maybe that's smart. It's a smart move from from a father's perspective, of coach perspective, someone who's been in there. So, you know.
Yeah, so that's what he warned. I think a couple years ago. He warned like, I don't want anything to do with that fight. I'm not gonna corner you, son, for this fight. And I was like, whoa, you know, because I guess obviously he was part of that fight that paralyzed that man, right? Ben Watson. So obviously they had a lot of angst behind that fight leading up to it. So yeah, absolutely, father knows best sometimes.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Cool,
Mm.
man. Well, look, on that note,
Yeah, man.
it's been a good chat, right? We saw some fights. Oh shit, real quick, Super Lek versus Takiru. I watched that fight. It won
Uh
um
I I
bro.
ended up missing that one,
Great
you
fight. I
know.
know I was a week late and whatnot, but finally got a chance to watch it. Fucking amazing high level kickboxing fight. Super Lek with
Mm.
like just his range with his teeps, with the leg kicks. Oh my god, if you saw Takiru's leg after it was destroyed. But the leg
Okay.
kicks,
I didn't see
the
that.
knees, and then just keeping that range. Takiru was just amazing in the pocket and the boxing, and I'm surprised he was still standing. I mean, I'm not surprised actually. These guys are different kind of warriors, but
Different
just
kind of granite. Yeah.
yeah, when he got in there and was just throwing body shots and his boxing was just absolutely amazing. Great fight, great back and forth fight, non-stop action, you know, with these kickboxing fights. Just non-stop action, just at the highest level. Super Lit was just throwing some amazing technique, which I just loved him doing. Like he'll fake the teep with the front leg, pop the
Mm.
jab, snap the low kick. I'm like, ooh, that's so nice. Like, just so
Okay, I'm
beautiful to
watching
watch
that.
some of these little things. Like, yeah,
I'm
when you
watching
just
it.
know, yeah, it was just really, really, really great, high impact fight. But
Did
yeah,
you
no,
lastly, did you manage to see Sage Northcutt fight? Because I didn't, but he was on that card, no?
apparently he didn't fight. He didn't fight. No,
Oh,
his coaches couldn't
oh,
make it. I just heard something the other day. He didn't
oh,
fight. His coaches couldn't make it, and he dropped out of the fight because he wanted his coaches there. And I think there was some stuff going on back there, so he didn't fight. No.
oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, damn. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
I'll watch the Super League fight because I always love watching those ones there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, I wish I could make the time to watch more ONE FC. It's just it's different when I'm not in Asia because of the timing and what it falls in the middle of the day on a Friday where I'm at the mosque. And yes, I could catch them up later, but it's just timing and whatnot. But anyway,
I hear you.
cool.
Yeah,
Well, look,
man.
it was good to chat, guys. As
Likewise.
always, thanks for watching and showing the love. The channel's been getting some great love. Thanks for all of that. Thanks for liking. Show some more love. Subscribe, like, comment, all that sort of good stuff. And man, we'll catch up next week on Fight Talks. We've got some more fights to talk about.
No doubt. And everybody, let us know which is your favorite fight for UFC 300. Put it in the comments.
Yes, definitely do that. Definitely do that. We'll talk about it. And cool. On that note, we out. Peace.